we are now also officially sound the alarms. I heard Tobin and Leroy yelling at each other, which can only mean one thing. There is Miami Heat news. There's another whale that has been linked to the Miami Heat. We are now also officially, Channing Crowder, on Kevin Durant watch. We assumed it would happen. We've all been talking about KD, but we finally got our first official report from Shams Charania, who has reported that the Phoenix Suns and Kevin Durant's business partner, Rich Kleiman, they have met multiple times over the past week and are sifting through trade scenarios. Shams says that teams that have expressed interest in Durant mainly feature the Houston Rockets, the Spurs, the Miami Heat, the Timberwolves, and the New York Knicks. And Suns officials and his business partner will continue to meet on trade conversations, with talks expected to escalate before the NBA draft later this month, which is exactly 14 days away from tonight. Channing Crowder, we have action, baby. The Miami Heat are in the discussion officially. We knew they were, but officially for Kevin Durant.
I love it. I hope his business partner, I hope he really gets things done too. Partner and partners. Hope they work everything out.
All right. Yeah. Early on for you to be making jokes, but all right. I see you. I see you.
I hope his partner gets going. KD's a great player. It doesn't excite me like I think it would.
Yeah, I kind of had the same reaction where I'm trying to hype myself up because it's a name, right? It's a superstar.
Yeah.
But I'm like, man, why don't Crowder, are we not excited? Here's what I'm trying to figure out, because we're gonna dig deep into this at some point over the next couple of days. We're gonna have on Rohan Nadkarni, who's gonna join us, sports reporter, covers the NBA for NBC News, and I want to get his take on this as well. But are we not excited because we think KD is at a point in his career where he's no longer a superstar? Like, his name is superstar, but his play is no longer superstar? Or are we no longer excited because we don't think the Miami Heat and Pat Riley can land Kevin Durant? Like, which one is it?
I totally believe in Pat, and I think you can work it out, get it done, figure things out, and all that stuff. 17 teams involved in a trade, and they'll figure the stuff out. It's that KD hasn't won without Steph Curry, and Klay Thompson and them boys. That's the thing. Like, I watched the Nets, I watched the Suns, Devin Booker and him and Bradley Beal get their butts whooped. That's the thing. KD's never been a one. OKC, they couldn't win with James Harden and Russell Westbrook. KD is a Hall of Famer, first ballot, guaranteed. But is he going to carry you to a championship? I haven't seen it, because Steph carried him to a championship.
The thing is, I'm not going to argue that with you. Like, he hasn't proven he can win without Steph and Klay Thompson and Draymond. He has not proven that. And on top of it, it's been an unmitigated disaster in Phoenix. Like, it's been embarrassing. That might be the worst, literally the biggest letdown in the history of the NBA. Just the fact that they didn't even make the playoffs, bro. Like, it's crazy. Embarrassing. But when you say he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, bro, he's a top 10 NBA player of all time. I'm not even talking about resume and accolades. I'm talking about just straight up hooper. Kevin Durant, 7 feet and can shoot like Steph Curry. He's a top 10 player of all time.
And he just balls. Yes,
for sure. And the Heat could potentially add that guy to their team. Isn't it one of those things where you have to almost talk yourself into saying, wait, no. Maybe Durant, Tyler, and Bam isn't a top 3 trio or duo or whatever, right? A top 3 roster in the NBA. But are we smoking weed here? Like, are we high to say that you don't want Kevin? Like, we had to struggle through 8 points of Andrew Wiggins in a series in the most lopsided playoff loss in the history of the NBA, and we're gonna kind of scoff at the idea of bringing Kevin Durant to Miami. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. I see it from both sides, but also it's one of those things where separate the context. Take a step back. Don't even be a Heat fan. your team can add a top 10, top 12, top 15 NBA player of all time when you've been a play-in seed for 3 straight years and we're going to turn that down? Like, it just doesn't make sense. It really doesn't.
Durant and Booker, who I don't know if is Booker better than Bam? If that's your 1-2.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I mean,
but just
whatever.
They couldn't make the playoffs. So now it's to your point, it's Durant, Bam, Tyler would be 3. Is that a flat out Eastern Conference final team? I don't think so.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know.
The Pacers still going at it. The Boston Celtics are still going to be there. Like, it's crazy to say. Okay. Would I be mad if Kevin Durant is a Heat player? Hell no. I would love to watch that big, long 7-footer run around at the Kaseya Center. Does it change the outcome of next season? That's the part that I think you question. It's like, yeah, KD, what does that make us in the East? 6 seed. Huh?
Yeah.
6 seed? KD is a 6 seed? He's a 6 seed.
6 seed is better than a 10 seed. Yeah, but there's just so many layers to it, man. I mean, because I think I heard Mike Ryan say this, or somebody on the Levitard show was saying something along the lines of, don't we want to be the organization that had Shaq, LeBron, and Kevin Durant all as acquisitions? Like, that would be cool in itself. That's a novelty thing. I know that doesn't matter. Doesn't mean you're winning anything. Just a novelty thing. But I do think there's something cool about that. Also, I could make the argument that the Suns were a massive disappointment. Kevin Durant, a reason why they're a massive disappointment. And we've had the arguments like, is he a culture killer? Is he a coach killer as well? All those arguments hold weight, bro. I'm not saying they don't. But in the Eastern Conference, we just watched the Indy. None of us think Indy is a great team. The East is wide open. If the Heat with Kevin Durant this year instead of Andrew Wiggins could have been healthy, would they have gotten past some of these teams? I'm not saying I know everybody thinks I'm a Heat homer, Crowder, but it's not crazy. I don't think I'm being a Heat homer if I'm just presenting you this team. Swap out Andrew Wiggins with Kevin Durant, and they're not losing 10 straight. They're not losing 10 straight.
So they beat the Cavs, they beat the Knicks, they beat the Pacers with Kevin Durant. And I mean, roster.
It's easy to say that they will. Like, who knows? But they're definitely better. And the Pacers, it's not taking anything away from the Pacers. The Pacers are a good team, bro. Like, they deserve credit. They really do. But they're not a great team, and the East is wide open. It is. It's wide open, and Boston probably won't have Jason Tatum next year. So, I just think if you can do it, you got to do it. The question is, what are you giving up? And that is what we're gonna have to figure out moving forward.
Wouldn't it be everybody? They have no picks to get. They have no picks to give up.
Well, no, they do. So this is like the first year that the Heat actually have. They have this year's first round draft pick that they can give up. They can give up 2, maybe 3 firsts. So this is what we know. Kevin Durant is going to make $54 million next season, and then Shams is saying once he's traded, Durant is eligible to sign a 2-year contract extension on July 6th, worth up to $112 million. And if he were to wait 6 months after a trade, he could sign a 2-year extension worth up to $124 million. So 110 to 125 million is what he could sign. And my guess is any team he's being traded to, he's going to want that extension. Does it mean he's 100% going to get it? I don't know, but it's the same situation as Jimmy Butler. Jimmy wanted to go to a place where they were going to give him the $110 million extension, and he wouldn't play for a team that wouldn't give him that. And he found the Golden State Warriors who would. Barry Jackson reports that the Miami Heat, and this has been reported, by the way, the Miami Heat were interested at the deadline instead of trading for Wiggins for Kevin Durant. And he wrote that Miami made an offer at the deadline, portrayed to me as a decent offer, but not the farm. Will be interesting to see if they offer more now after the way the season ended. And then Ethan Skolnick of 5 Reasons Sports, he said at the deadline, they were willing to part with Jimmy Butler, Niko Jovic, and a first-round pick. the Suns, according to 5 Reasons Sports, asked for a lot more. So I don't know. Like, we'll get back to this at some point. But are you willing? The question is, do you want to give up Khalil Ware? Are you okay with that? Would you be like Jaime, Nico, the farm, and anybody but Tyler and Bam? Like, where do you place your value on Kevin Durant at this age, considering where the Miami Heat have been the last couple seasons?
2 twos and Pella Larson.
Send it in.
They're gonna want Tyler at least. I would say this. I don't think it's gonna be the 3. I don't think KD's here with Tyler and Bam. Because the other guys, Khalil Ware, is he really changing an organization? I know he can play, but I think we'd have to part ways with Tyler, to be honest. Yeah. Which
I don't think that he would do that.
What if it's KD, no Tyler? Does that upset you?
No, I mean, I just don't think the Heat are going to do it. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't. It just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't.
I'm
not saying.
What if they say 2 twos? You know, are 2 1s throwing Tyler?
No, then it doesn't make sense.
So you're literally picking Tyler over Kevin Durant.
I am.
That's crazy, Solana.
No, it's not. I'm not saying Tyler Herro is better than Kevin Durant. It's not what I'm saying. But at this age, and at the value of what they're going to be paid, even though Tyler's up for an extension, like Tyler Herro, Crowder's 25 years old. You could have Tyler Herro for another 10 years, and at the very least, you have a very good scorer. At the very least, Kevin Durant is going to play, 3-4 more seasons? Maybe? Like, you're going to pay $120 million to Kevin Durant over the next 2 seasons and give up a guy you can have for 10 more years who was an all-star last year. To me, it just doesn't make sense. And by the way, Tyler Herro showed you he can play 70-plus games. He did it last year. Kevin Durant, like we were sick of Jimmy Butler taking time off. Good luck, because KD has not been playing 70-plus games.
Kevin Durant for 4 years, or a guy that I watched in the playoffs crumble and score 7-7-7.
Get out of here.
He didn't crumble in the playoffs?
He didn't crumble. He didn't crumble in the playoffs.
Man, let me look up these numbers. I remember us joking that he was like a 11-7-6 guy in one of the big closeout games or something.
Yeah, he might have scored 8 points in game 4. That might have happened.
It's just like I need 10 years of Tyler over 4 years of KD. I'm on the other side of that. I'll take KD.